Hey everybody, welcome back. So you saw my VHS purchases. Now let's go through the DVDs. There are quite a few, so I'm gonna try to go through them rather quickly. Let's get to it. First of all, Altered States from 1980, sci-fi. This is one that I had started watching. I watched maybe half, but I had to work early the next morning. So I kind of to stop, but I was enjoying it. I like what I saw, but then the next day, I wasn't in the vibe of the movie anymore, in the mood. So I had to restart it to really enjoy it. But like what I saw so far, the film debut of actor William Hurt. So pretty cool to see him. He was pretty young. So yeah, Altered States, the Warner Brothers release. Next up, the one that started it all. Death Wish with Charles Bronson. I had never seen Death Wish. Actually, I had never even seen any Charles Bronson movies. I know. I'm ashamed. I just never really gotten around to it, I guess. But loved it. Great action movie. Great revenge flick. Yeah, Bronson just plays a normal dude whose wife and daughter are attacked and raped and by hoodlums. One of them, which is played by an actor who would become famous, Jeff Goldblum. That's right. So anyway, after this happens, Bronson just goes out for revenge after anyone he sees doing evil, like mugging or anything. So it's really cool. Really enjoyed it. There's actually 5 in total Death Wish movies. So I'd like to see the other ones. I'm on a hunt for those, so yeah, really glad I found it. Also got The Nutty Professor, the original, 1963, Jerry Lewis. This is really cool. I don't have many movies from the 60s, but I'm a fan of the remakes, so I thought I had to see the original. And Jerry Lewis, always funny, and I enjoyed it. Really cool movie, hilarious performance by Jerry Lewis. Really cool. If you're up for a fun flick, check it out. The next ones are cool purchases I found. Zellers had like a bin, like a bargain bin. I guess like a end of summer sale type of thing. They had some cool, cheap movies. Lots of treasures. I got Rumblefish, like Francis Ford Coppola, Matt Dillon and Diane Lane, and Mickey Rourke, which is the main reason I bought it. I love Mickey Rourke. He's awesome. Mickey Rourke, he plays a motorcycle boy. When I was reading the plot of My Motorcycle Boy, why does it sound so familiar? I feel like I know I haven't seen the movie, but it just sounds familiar. I read the book in high school. I just clicked while I was watching it. I'm like, I read the book. I didn't remember much of it, but just the name, The Motorcycle Boy, I knew I had heard of that before. So yeah, cool movie. Popping it in, I didn't really know what to expect. I hadn't really looked much into it, but it's filmed in black and white with a hint of color. Every now and then you'll see a little bit of color, and you're like, whoa, trippy. Just really cool movie, like a kind of a gang movie. Kind of reminiscent of the Outsiders, because it's by the same writer, S.E. Hinton. So it's got a lot of the same actors, Matt Dillon, Diane Lane. Oh, there's also young Nicolas Cage in this. So, really cool. Check it out. Liked it a lot. Same bargain bin. Sin City, 2005. I actually had never seen it since it was released 5 years ago. I just never really got around to checking it out. I had heard mixed reviews. I didn't know what to expect. Liked it. I really enjoyed it. Again, Mickey Rourke. That's why I couldn't wait to see it, but in my mind I thought Mickey Rourke had just like a small role, so I wasn't expecting much. He's got quite the big role, so that was a treat. I was happy, really happy to see Mickey Rourke. Just great performance. Doesn't really look like himself because he's got makeup. Like he's got his chin is made to look a lot bigger and massive, buff. It was cool. Lots of other great actors in here. You got man, I don't even know where to start. Brittany Murphy, Rosario Dawson, you got Bruce Willis, of course, Jessica Alba, Benicio del Toro, Clive Owen, Elijah Wood, Really cool. Oh, it's directed by Robert Rodriguez. Well, Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller, but I really like Robert Rodriguez, so I had to check it out. Again, with the bargain bin purchases, a Steven Spielberg film, one of his earlier films, 1941. I was actually with Alex, my cinnamon brother. You know Alex? He was with me, and I saw this. I'm like, check it out. He's like, yeah, there's a bunch of them. I'm like, you're not excited? I'm like, how are you so chill? He's like, okay, 3 names: Spielberg, Aykroyd, and Belushi. Come on, I was freaking out. But it turns out, I watched it. Not that great. I don't want to be negative, but it was so long, and there was so much going on. It's 2 hours and 26 minutes, 2.5 hours. Because, well, it's a fully restored version with bonus footage. I think the original one was for like 2 hours, but it was long. I was watching it at work though, so every time I get a customer, I'd pause it. And I paused it a lot, so it took me like 3.5 hours to complete it. So maybe that's why I didn't really get to enjoy it. But I don't know. Like I said, so much going on, so many characters to keep track of. Some of the characters aren't even that interesting, so I didn't really get to. It had some good moments, like the opening scene is spoofing the opening scene of Jaws, and Spielberg got the same actress to return, so that was awesome. The beginning of Jaws, the actress, the girl who goes swimming. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much, but let's just say that's all I'm gonna say. Same actress, so really enjoyed that. Yeah, 1941. Oh, this is actually the feature film debut of, again, Mickey Rourke. Barely see him. It's almost like don't blink or you'll miss him. But he's more towards the end. He plays a tank driver called Reese. And he doesn't have many lines. I think like one of the only things he says is like, torpedo! So yeah, but young Mickey Rourke. Keep an eye out for him if you watch it. Next up, Copland. Hadn't seen this one since its release. I think it came out in like 97. I saw it in theaters with my father. I was like 11 or 12 years old. And I thought it was cool back then, but it's still pretty cool. I didn't watch the whole thing. Same thing. I was watching it late at night, and everyone else in the house was sleeping. And the thing with my surround sound, it's either really loud or not loud enough. I was trying to turn it down to wake anyone up, but I couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't hear, so I just watched it like halfway through. And again, the next day, I just wasn't in the vibe anymore. So I'll watch it again sometime. It's a really cool drama action cop movie. Oh, and this is the exclusive director's cut. So yeah. Excuse me. A little drink of water, before I go. Look at the size of this glass. Look at that. It's huge. Yeah. Next movie. This is again something that Mo Vernoscopy would enjoy, because I know he's a Dice fan like myself. This is The Adventures of Fort Fair Lane with Andrew Dice Clay. Great movie. I had actually, funny story, I had owned this movie on VHS like years ago, around 04, and I had watched it, and back then, being younger and all, I was just like, whatever, it's not that great, so I sold it. But I found it at a pawn shop, $3. I was like, you know what? I remember not liking it, but I think I would like it now. Being an Andrew Dice Clay fan and stuff, being a fan of his stand-up, and I watched it, and yeah, I knew it. I loved it. I loved it this time around, so I'm happy to have it on DVD. You got great performances in here. You got Wayne Newton, Robert Englund. He's great in this movie, and Ed O'Neill. Mr. Al Bundy himself. I'm a huge Married with Children fan, so it was great to see him in here as like a cop. He plays a cop. He's really funny. He's got a mustache. Booty time, booty time. You gotta watch it. Great movie. Highly recommended. Next up, a double feature set. This is brought up a lot when I watch updates, so I found it. Thought I'd check it out. Prom Night 3 and Prom Night 4. And, I don't know. I don't know where I stand, man. I watched Prom Night 3, and it's really, really cheesy. I mean, I love horror cheese from the 80s. I love it. But this one here, I don't know, man. It's pretty... Like, for the first half, I was into it. Like, this is pretty cool. It's pretty cheesy. I like it. But then after a while, it got kind of, you know, repetitive and predictable. And, you know, typical slasher. Oh, and this edition here is the TV edit. It's edited for TV. So the gore scenes are totally cut. Like, there's going to be a kill. It just kind of cuts abruptly. I was noticing this, I'm like, that's weird, there's no gore or nothing. And I checked out on IMDb and they mentioned it. I'm like, what? I even found some scenes here on YouTube. I found some scenes from the VHS rip, and I'm like, whoa! I didn't get any of this gore, you know? So that was a real disappointment. I didn't even check out part 4 yet. I don't know. I don't really have much interest. Good night! I didn't really have much interest in part 4. I just bought it for part 3, really, but like I said, that really bummed me out that it was a TV edit. Sometimes they swear and it's like overdubbed. It doesn't even match the lips. I'm like, what? So yeah. But Son of Jack 6 and JT of the Dead did a review of this just like a week after I bought it. So check that out. It's really cool. So yeah, Shovel Knight 3 and 4.